Assalamualaikum dan selamat sejahtera. So today we are going to discuss the hot topic that just happened in Malaysia a month ago, which is the Malaysian general election and also known as Pilihan Raya Umum PRU. So Dr. Mahathir Mohammed, our former Malaysia's Prime Minister, amended the voting age is lowered to 18 years old. This issue become controversial because not all of the Malaysian citizens is agreed with the amendment. We, also from Group 8, strongly disagree about the Malaysia's voting age is lowered to 18 years old because we see more negative outcomes compared to the positive. So later in the video, we will include 5 clips why we strongly disagree about the voting age is lowered to 18 years old.
One of the reasons voting is not appropriate for 18 is because teenagers lack social network outside their age group. Because most of the teenagers socialize only with their peers, they tend to have similar perceptions and opinions about political issues. As a result, they are lacking political information because their social political network are still developing, which potentially leading to the exploitation of irresponsible parties and brainwashing and so on. However, there is an exception for working teenagers. This is because they were exposed to the people of various age in their workplace where they had to adapt to different adults' opinion. So teenagers who are working can think critically in their workplace by observing, evaluating and comparing the judgment and make a good decisions. In 2021, around 2.8 million Malaysians in labour force would be between the age of 25 and 29. This was the largest age group actively working or looking for a work in Malaysia. Meanwhile, 18 years old age group is the smallest among all of them. This age group also are not greatly affected by the politics and the economy because they are financially supported by their own parents. As a result, they are lacking and given less opportunity to interact with people outside their age group, as well as lacking a variety of social network. Even if they did mix across the age, it is still insufficient time to gradually develop mental maturity, so the government should at least consider a transition phase for teenagers to adapt these adaptations.
So next point why we are not agreed to lower the voting age to 18 is because no programs of school subjects that educate the teenagers on government structures, elections and voting system. The government should make before proceeding with the amendment to lower the voting age. There is no point in lowering the voting age without preparing the future voters and when they don't have a clear and comprehensible outlook on the politics of Malaysia, how they want to vote for the future leader. So the government needs to come up with a better strategy in educating youth in this area prior to tabling the amendment. So for the case of lowering the voting age, the consistency in the interpretation of maturity is contrasting. The Youth and Sport Minister Syed Saddiq bin Syed Abdurrahman has said that to prepare youth for their voting responsibility, his ministry would propose programs on cadreship, leadership and politics. Nevertheless, the programs have yet to see the light of day. So for me, the age of 18 is still a clueless junction where new adults are trying to define your future. So why would you want to put another part for confusion to the youth to vote for their next future leader?
Apart from that, I think at the age of 18, most teenagers are considered too young to carry on and fulfill important responsibility in the country's political system because they doubted their own ability and self-esteem in making the right decision to choose. This is because most teenagers are unaware of current political issue and not knowledgeable enough on how to make a wise decision. To add also, the age of 18 have no experience in the political arena. Our youth need to be an activist of social, educational, ecological, but not be a blind voters at the age of 18. So, we need to educate them because teenagers might not understand the concept of voting because it is not be taught in schools, or worse, it is not seen as priority.
Another reason why voting age should not be lowered is because teenagers are easily influenced by others. Young voters are still listening to others to decide on something. They are easily exploited with false news on social media. The impact on social media of teenagers is huge. They rely on the news on social media and did not bother to check the facts of the news. Some news on social media might be misleading and fake. They choose on who to vote based on the popularity of the candidate rather than deciding for themselves. This can be seen when a celebrity promotes a certain party and easily influences young voters. According to a social scientist, Dr. Tak Wing Chan, people under 18 years old will not be a competent voters because research on neuroscience suggests that the brain, specifically the prefrontal cortex, is undergoing a development during years. Prefrontal cortex enable us to weigh dilemmas and make reasonable decisions. Apart from that, teenagers are easily influenced by parents' choice. Parents usually will decide on their children and pressure them to choose what they choose.
The number of young people who are engaged in politics is ridiculously low and others are completely uninterested. Even the history of their own nation is unknown to them. They cannot comprehend the political system of administration. Young voters demonstrate a lack of political engagement and are similarly susceptible to radical politics and voluntary voting. In addition, they have less expertise deciding on ballot box. At the age of 18, teenagers are deemed too young to assume and carry out significant tasks within the political system. The youngsters sometimes lack confidence in their decision-making, skill, and self-esteem. Many young individuals are readily manipulated by bogus news on social media, but older voters have the expertise to make a reasonable choice.
Okay, hello. So my name is Ben. So I would like to interview you for some question about Undi 18. Okay, before that, can you introduce yourself and which faculty are you from?
Hi, I'm Dash from BBM.
Okay.
From FHMS.
Okay, so I would like to ask your opinion about Undi 18. So from your personal opinion, do you agree that at the age of 18, teenagers also can vote? Do you agree on that statement?
No, I don't agree, because from my personal opinion, I feel that 18 years old, most students haven't reached their maturity. Like for example, so many of them are not interested in politics, so they do not know what exactly is happening around them. They tend to just go with the flow and just pick whatever they want. They feel that it's right.
I think that I would disagree with that because I feel that people that are 18 years old or around that age, they would normally do not have the exposure to politics also. Take it from me, I was once 18. If I were to go out and vote, I would not know what to vote for, who to vote for, and why should I vote for. And also, most of the time, when people are 18, they are driven by the surroundings, like social media. Sometimes the people around them, they will dictate what is better, what is not, and also the media also plays a huge role. So that's my take. That's why I say I disagree with that.